To be or not to be? That is the question. Actually, the question is, should you rent or is it better to buy? Otherwise, what are we all doing here? Why didn't I learn about credit? School didn't teach us the important things, like how to file taxes. Welcome back, beautiful people. I am so excited about today's video. It is the first of a series that I'm going to do where we're going to discuss the home buying process. For many of us, purchasing a home is one of the largest, if not the largest investments we will ever make. So it's kind of a big deal, which makes me wonder, why don't we learn about these things until it's time for us to do it? That's neither here nor there. We're here now, and let's figure this thing out. Today's video is for those people who are wondering, what is the true difference between renting and buying? Is one a better option than the other, and why? And the thing about it is, that answer isn't as cut and paste as many would like you to think. There are actually pros and cons to both options. Wait, there are disadvantages to buying a home? Absolutely. You're lying. There are no benefits to renting. And you need to come get comfortable because you've got a lot to learn. Jumping right into one of the main arguments that I hear in favor of buying a home is you build equity. When you buy a home, you're building equity, whereas when you're renting, you're wasting money or you're paying more in rent than you would in a mortgage. And that's not always true. That honestly boils down to location. When we moved here, we had already made the decision that we wanted to buy our home, but renting was still an option to me in the short term. I wanted to acclimate ourselves to the area, figure out exactly where we wanted to live, the best housing market for when we decided to sell, or if we even wanted to rent the property. I wanted to look into those options. But when I saw how much rent was, which was 2 to 3 times more than what a mortgage is in this area, made my decision for me. So in some areas, rent is significantly higher than paying a mortgage. But in some areas, rent is less than or even equal to paying a mortgage. And you can't always go by hearsay that you're paying more in rent. That's not always the case. It really comes down to location. But dealing with equity, let's just talk about what equity is really quickly, because we hear it, but do we know what it references? Simply put, equity is the value in your home that you own. Yes, we always hear, I'm homeowners, but in all reality, the bank owns your home and you are buying your home back in the form of your mortgage. Your mortgage consists of principal and interest. The interest is the amount that the bank charges for the loan. Nothing is free, so that's your thank you for letting me hold this. And your principal is the amount that you're putting back into the home, so that when you do decide to sell, if you decide to sell, after you pay your home off, this principal amount, that's your equity. That's what you get to take back and put into your bank account. Another way that you build equity is if your home value increases. Anything in the market value that's over what you paid for the home is your equity. It's what you get to keep when you sell your home. The thing about it is, what everyone doesn't really talk about, not every home increases in value. Some homes depreciate, as in they lose value, and some homes stay around the same market value. So don't think that, oh, I'm buying a home, this is a great investment, it's going to increase in value. That's not always the case. So if your home increases in value, then you automatically build equity. And as you pay back the loan, you're building equity. As you see, these things take time. You don't just automatically buy a home and you now have equity. Unless you realize a very large increase in market value over a short period of time, it takes time to pay back on the principal and also see a market trend upwards. Now, like I said, not all homes increase in value. If your home depreciates, as in it loses value, you're also losing equity. So that is a risk that you run when you're buying a home. Equity has a lot to do when you intend to sell your home. Thus, you want to realize some type of return on your investment. Otherwise, if this is your forever home, then your main goal is to pay it off and leave it as property and not problems for your future generations, thus building generational wealth. So in the short run, if you need to be more flexible, renting is actually a better option. Yes, It's true. In the scenario that your lifestyle favors flexibility or you need to move often, then renting may be your better option. In our case, we've had to move every few years due to career purposes, and each time we've had to weigh the option between should we rent or should we buy. In the cases where that option was provided to us, until this point, we've always chosen to rent. And when we did, we always considered the location, the ease of the process, the time that we would have to dedicate to it. Would we be able to sell it easily? Would it be a good rental property? Would it be a good idea to rent? And I can honestly say there's only one time looking back that I think we would choose differently, and that is very early into our careers where we did not have this knowledge. So even though we had the option to buy, we didn't know that it was an option, so we rented. And honestly, when I look back at it, I'm thinking like, man, that's at least 10 years plus of rental income or rental experience that we would have to share. And it's just another reason why I'm very passionate about doing this, because I can't go back, and it's okay, but I would definitely do it differently if I had the information then that I have now. The hidden side to purchasing a home is the upfront cost as well as the paperwork to process the transaction. When you're renting, you typically have to provide the security deposit and the first and sometimes the last month's rent. When you are buying a home, you have to consider the down payment determined upon the loan that you choose to use, the closing costs, the appraisal fee, the inspection fee, earnest money, and many other hidden fees or hidden costs that we're not told about when we are pushed into purchasing a home. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a homeowner and I love it. It's really not that bad. Actually, it's not bad at all. When you own a home, you own it. It's yours. Do what you will. Paint the walls, take up the carpet, put as many holes and nails and hang as many pictures as you want. You have the creative freedom to do whatever it is that you so desire. If you decide to sell the home later though, please note, yellow bathrooms and neon walls don't always go over well, okay? But when you own the home, it's yours, and nothing feels better than owning property and being able to, just exercise your free will. That's not an option when you're renting. When you're renting, there are probably stipulations in your contract that limit what exactly you can do to the property, and if you do it, if you do it, then you probably have to undo it before you leave. However, when you are renting property and your AC goes out, you have the luxury of calling the landlord, the property manager, or the maintenance team, and they're gonna come out and take care of that for you. When you own the property, you own the problems that come with it. So when your pipe bursts, who do you run to? The mirror, because the person looking back at you is the person who's going to have to fix it. Recently, we had to deal with some type of water leak, and it was our time, our efforts, and our money that had to resolve the issue. I just want you guys to have the full picture. I don't want anybody to get caught up in, oh, I didn't know. No, I'm telling you, so just be mindful of this before you make the decision to buy a home. Another reason people look down on renting is the fact that your rent might not be as stable as you would prefer. You run the risk of your rent increasing, and that's a reason why to buy. The thing about it is homeowners will tell you that's not necessarily a benefit or an advantage to buying a home, because you also run the risk of your mortgage increasing. Look, you have no control over how much you pay per month unless you come to the table with a full cash offer, meaning you don't have a mortgage, thus you don't have to worry about a monthly expense. Otherwise, you do run the risk of your mortgage increasing. Your mortgage consists of property, your property taxes, your interest rate, your principal, as well as your home insurance. So let's break that down, starting with the interest rate. If you get a variable interest rate, which I highly recommend you do not do, please get a fixed interest rate attached to your mortgage. If you do not, then yes, every time the interest rates go up, your mortgage is going to go up. Yes, they're going to sell it to you as, oh, when the market goes down, your interest rate will go down, but we only see those infrequently. 9 out of 10, the interest rate will go up much faster and much more than it would decrease. So please get a fixed interest rate attached to your mortgage. But even if you do get a fixed interest rate, you still run the risk of your mortgage going up. Because like I said, your mortgage also consists of your property taxes. And if your value goes up in your home, you do run the risk sometimes of your property taxes going up. If your property taxes go up, your mortgage is going to go up. In addition to that, if your home insurance goes up for any reason, your mortgage will go up. So guys, I'm just trying to let you guys know that don't let anyone scare you into making this investment, because you run the risk of your rent increasing, because your mortgage can increase as well. Another consideration is homeowner association fees. If you live in a neighborhood that has HOAs, then you will have fees associated with it. And once again, if that increases, your mortgage won't increase. Sometimes it's attached to your mortgage, most times it's not, but that's just another fee that you have to consider when you are buying a home. But on the note of property taxes, when you are a homeowner, you do get the tax benefit from the interest that you pay on your mortgage. So, I mean, if you're gonna pay for something monthly, then why not get a tax advantage from it? Not so much with renting, it's not an option. So if you're new to the area, you're unsure of the location, the school district, if you have kids or you have an unstable career, then renting might be a better option for you in the short term. For example, if you're recently married and you want to buy a home, but you also know that you're going to increase your family size, but you can only afford a home for your current status, then it might be better for you to rent in the short term, save up enough money to buy the home that you want and that you know you will need in the near future. What I tell people all the time when they make large investments like buying a home, please don't settle. This is your money, get what you want. Now, if you have millionaire home dreams, then I hope you have a millionaire work ethic. Otherwise, have a realistic viewpoint of what you want in a home and get that. Work towards it, save towards it, but don't settle, because when you're paying your mortgage every month, you need to pay for something that you enjoy coming home to, that you're proud to say, this is my home. Don't settle for something that you don't want. Don't be pressured to get something that you don't want. In the short term, rent and save. Short-term renting is not a bad thing. Guys, let me tell you something. We've already talked about building equity, right? So let's say you are pressured into buying a home in the short term until you make up your mind about what you want. If you have to turn around, or you decide to turn around and sell quickly, equity builds slowly. So any equity that you have realized in your home, if you choose to turn around and sell it, you're probably going to eat that equity up in the fees, the loan fees, closing costs, real estate agent commissions. These things need to be talked about because it is the reality of the situation. There's nothing wrong with renting in the short term. If you have life decisions that you need to make, don't let anybody make those decisions for you. Focus on what you need, what's best for your family, and do that. Buying a home is a major investment. It takes a lot to get into it, and it takes a lot to get out of it. So if you value flexibility, then renting is your better option. Look guys, the bottom line is do what's best for you. If you are ready to settle down, you have a stable career, you can afford it, and you are in the market to buy a home, then by all means, go for it. But if you are feeling pressured by society because you have reached a certain age or a point in your life where everyone seems to be purchasing a home and they're looking at you sideways trying to figure out why you're still wasting your money by renting, you tell them to mind your business, okay? You do not make decisions based on anyone else. Purchasing a home is a large investment that you need to be both financially and emotionally prepared to do. So you do not do it if that is not something that you are ready to take on. Everyone is very quick to post that picture, we're homeowners, #homeowners before 30, oop. However, no one is as quick to let you know that their roof is leaking, that their HVAC has gone out. Oh my God, who fixes refrigerators on the low? Nobody. But let me go back in this home that I rent, okay, and ain't gotta worry about that. All right, so do not be pressured by society or what anyone else is doing. If you don't know whether you're ready to purchase a home, or if you would like to know what it takes to be ready, then please tune into the next video, because that's what we're going to discuss as we deep dive into this home buying process. But for now, that concludes this video. I hope that you enjoyed it enough to like, comment, share, and subscribe. You guys, the choice between renting and buying is not that simple. There are several factors that you need to consider, and I hope that I've made that clear for you all. Buying a home is a long-term investment, and the goal ultimately is to pay it off, leave it as property that will help build generational wealth. Until next time.